Welcome everyone in today's class. I remain Victor Odigoma Ohia, and in our discussion today, I just like I promised us, I picked a problem. This is a WAEC examinable question of 2015, question 7. So just like I promised us that I will start from the scratch, discuss the basics of that is embedded in a topic, and then at the end of the day I can be able to lead us into looking at some WAEC examinable questions in that topic. So that is what this particular one has to do with a question that was given in 2015 of question 7 there. So look at it, I put it up here. This question says, given that y is equals to px squared minus 5x plus q. Okay, so it says the first thing, which some part of it I'm going to do on the board here, and then the rest I will take you to the graph. We look at how we can be able to answer the other questions that are there. Okay, so the first question there is find the values of p and q, and when you have done that, you can now be able to write out the equation which will be used to copy and complete this table of values. So assuming one wants to start answering this question, which is finding the values of p and q, there is an information in this table that can help you do that. Okay, there is an information in this table that can help you do that, and if you look at those informations, you can be able to use them to be able to assess the values of this p and q. So I will take you straight to that step, that procedure. So if you look here, I say solution. So we have that y is equals to p x squared, okay, minus 5x plus q. If you look here, there are two instances here. If you look here, x is 0. So we can, when we put that x to be 0 here and here, y is minus 12, something can happen. You can observe something. So we can start from there. We can say when, I hope you are seeing what I'm doing here, when x is equals to 0, then means y from the table is equals to minus 12. It's given in the question. So you use it, you use it. I normally tell students that in any mathematical question, it's just like a door that is locked. The bunch of key is left for you there. It's just for you to be able to identify the proper key, the key that will be able to open that door and you access the house. So when you look at this place, it's just for you to be able to identify that this can be an access point. Okay, so when x is 0, y is equals to minus 12, quickly we can make a substitution. So we put minus 12 here. So you're going to have minus 12 equals to, okay, p in bracket 0 squared minus 5 in bracket 0 plus q. Of course, everything here now will become 0. So you have 0 here plus q, okay, equals to, this is minus 12. By implication, you can see that q is equals to minus 12. You can see that. Then what about p? So I can now, let me do this thing where you will be able to see clearly what I'm doing. I don't want to go too far. So if you also realize that here, you realize also that when y is 0, x is 4. So we can make a substitution again inside here and verify something. So y is 0, so I can say from y equals to px squared minus 5. I trust God you will see this thing plus q. I'm trying to manage this plus q. So you realize that 0 is equals to, this is p in bracket 4 squared minus 5 in bracket 4. Oh my god. Minus, let me see if I put it over there, you can observe what I'm saying. Minus 5 in bracket 4. Okay. Then plus plus q. So we can work on it. I trust God you will see this. So we can have it as this is 4 squared is 16. So I have here 0 is equals to 16p minus 20, then plus q. So I can bring this constant over here and have 20 equals to 16p plus q now. All right. So if you observe that our q is minus 12, we can quickly say 20. We can quickly say 20 is equals to 16p. Okay. Then put q, b minus 12 inside here. You will have minus 12. Okay. So if you collect the like terms, you have 20 plus 12 equals to 16p. It then means this is 32 equals to 16p. It then means if you divide both sides by 16, you quickly see that see that you see that 32 over 16 is equals to 16p over 16. So what do we have there? 2 is equals to p. Okay, so that is all that. It then means this equation, we can rewrite it as, this equation can now rewrite it as we can now rewrite it as that y is equals to, our p is 2, 2 x squared minus 5x plus no, it's not going to be plus because of the minus negative nature of this. So minus into plus will give us minus. So this will become minus 12. Okay, so this is the equation that is being given to us here. And we are not going to use this equation now to copy and complete the table of values for this relation and use it. When we are done with that, we can now use it to answer some sub questions that are here. The sub questions that are here captures use your graph to find, because in the previous one I tried to look at some aspects, some questions, not all of them. I'm heading towards taking us to some other questions after this that will capture determining the gradient of a curve and the equation of line of symmetry and all that. It's not captured in this question, so I'm still going to do another one that at least have to capture that. So use this one now says use the sub question in this one says use your graph to find y when x is 1 point. You know, this type it wasn't captured in the last problem I solved. So if you are following gradually, you notice what I'm saying. So this is now what is captured in this case. So we take a look at it as we go into the graph now. I'm taking you straight to the graph. To the graph now. We do the graph now and then answer the sub questions that follow. Okay, thank you for being there. So this is the problem we want to look at. You can see how the question is presented. We have been able to find the values of p and q. Okay, the value of p is 2 and the value of q is minus 12. So the question has to be rewritten, which I have done that. You can see I have rewritten the question to be y equals to 2x squared minus 5 minus 12. I'm sure we can see that clearly. So now this is the first thing we'll do. I have to minimize time. I have been able to do that. So copy and complete the table of values for the relation. That's the question that is provided. Copy and complete the table of values for the relation. Okay. Now, using a scale of 2 cm to 1 unit on x-axis and 2 cm to 5 units on y-axis, draw the graph of the relation for this interval -3 less than or equals to x less than or equals to 5. There are just only one sub question there. At the end of the day, let me check what the time we have consumed already. If we don't want to, take too much time. So if we didn't take too much time in completing this graph and answering that sub question, I can add one more question there that has to do with gradient. So as we go, this is a 2s squared. Okay, this is 2s squared, and we now try to see how we can use this information to fill this table. So I have explained last time that for this 2s squared, for you to be able to know what you're going to write along this that row, so you create something like this, like 2 bracket then squared, you get, so that once you take -3 and put it here, -3 squared, because -3 squared is 9. 2 times 9 will give you 18. You can see that there. Next is -2. You put -2 here. That's 4. 2 times 4 will give you 8. You can see that there. Next is -1. So that's how you keep on getting all this. Like this 50 now. Okay, this 50 now is when s is 5. And we put 5 here. Okay, if you put 5 here, 5 squared is 25. 2 times that 25 will give you 50. Now, when you are done with this now, for this minus 5x, of course, you see, if you remember the last one we did, you realize that it doesn't have a coefficient, and I explained that. Now, this one have a coefficient, which is -5. So we are going to have -5. You open a space that can accommodate any of the x values. So when x is -3, put -3 here. 5 -5 times -3 will give you 15. I think you can see that here. You take x being -2. -5 times -2 will give you 10. I think you can see that there. Okay. -1. 5 times -1 will give you 5. That is how you get all this in. Finally, this one, -25. What is here? That's x being 5. Now, x being 5, -5. -5 into 5. That will give you -25. -12 is a constant. You write it across. That's all. Now, you can now sum all these things and bring down. Please don't add the interval in your summation. That's why I normally use my ruler to separate them with a line, so that you know that it's not part of what you're going to sum. So you're summing from these terms. These are what you're summing to get the y values. So you can see that 18 plus 15. 18 plus 15 will give us a 33. Yes, 33. 33 minus 12, check it out, will give you 21. 8 plus 10 will give you 18. And 18 minus 12 will give you 6. 2 plus 5 will give you 7. 7 minus 12 will give you -5. So you can use your calculator or any calculating device to check out this value. 50 minus 25 will give you 25. 25 minus 12 will give you 13. Now that this table is set, the next thing we'll do is we come to this graph and do what they ask us to do. What they ask us to do here is they say use a scale of 2 cm for 1 unit on s-axis. So on this s-axis, and also given to us, you can see in this case we are given 2 cm to 1 unit on s-axis and 2 cm to 5 units on y-axis. Then this is the interval. But if you watch closely, you realize that this interval, that the positive part is bigger than the negative part. So while trying to share this graph, I will consider that, I'll put that into consideration, because assuming I choose somewhere here, let me just say somewhere here. Okay, and another thing to put into consideration is the maximum value of y. You look here, the maximum value of y is 21. Okay, and the minimum value is -15. Okay, so we're also going to put that into consideration. So we share this thing in a way that 21 will not jump outside there. Okay, so if I Let me say like here, having told us that every 2 cm is 5 units on y-axis. Let's assume I mark here to be my origin. Okay, I'll check 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I think with that now I can see that 23 is covered. 23 is covered. So, and also the smallest value, the minimum value, which is minus 15. I will also from there take minus 5, minus 10, minus 15. So minus 15 is also covered. Let me also check this side for 1 to 5. Every 2 cm 1 unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's also covered. And minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 is covered. So I'm going to use here as the origin. So I will divide, I will mark the x-axis, I mean the y-axis and the x-axis. I hope that was my selected 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay. So I will also mark this axis too. So this is my origin selected. This is 1. Every 2 cm 1 unit. This will be 2. This will be 3. This will be 4, and this will be 5. This is x-axis. Okay. And this side minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay. Then on y-axis 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Y-axis. Down here minus 5, minus 10, minus 15. I can stop at minus 20, minus 20. Okay. So title, graph of y equals to 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. I think I'm through with this preparation. The next is to use this x and y coordinates of the points. Begin to locate them inside here. Locate those points. So if you can see, look closely with me, you will realize that when x is minus 3, y is 21. Now if you come here, you know that this to this is 5 units and there are 10 tiny blocks inside it. So I'll find a way that to break this to read, so that I can be able to read the meaning of or the value of these small tiny blocks. There are 10 in number, and being 10, they are assigned 5 units. Let me make my guess. If I say let every 2 units be 1, no, every 2 tiny blocks be 1 unit, can that work? Let's check. So you don't just think maybe I knew the correct guess earlier than now. That's how you do it. Or you can say, you know, 5 units divided into 10. That will give you the value of 1 tiny block there. Okay. So, but for me, let me say every 2 tiny block 1. So this is 2 tiny block 1, another 2 tiny block 2, another 2 tiny block 3, another 2 tiny block 4, and another 2 tiny block, 5. So my guess is correct. So reading 21 will not be a problem for me. From minus 3, I will go up, and here is 15, and here is 20. So the next 2 tiny block is 21. Do you see that now? Because the 2 tiny blocks is assigned 1. So I will mark that place to be 21. Okay. Then followed by, I think my explanation is very clear. Minus 2 and y value is 6. Minus 2 is here, and then y value is 6. If you look closely, you see that here is 5. So the next 2 tiny block up is 6. I'll mark it. Look at it very well. Okay. Then minus 1 and minus 5. Minus 1 and minus 5. that is going down now. So quickly look at it. This is minus 5 and minus 1. So it should be here. So I will mark that place. Okay. Next is 0. When x is 0, y is minus 12. So when x is 0, y is minus 12. This is minus 5, minus 10. Then 2 tiny block, minus 11. Next 2 tiny block, minus 12. I will mark it. Okay. Next is when x is 1, y is minus 15. So when x is 1, y is minus 15. This is minus 15 here. Here is minus 15. That point of intersection, I'll mark it 1 and minus 15. Okay. When x is 2, what is happening? Y is minus 14. When x is 2, y is minus 14. So this is 10. Or alternatively, I can go to minus 15 and take 2 tiny block step backward. That is minus 14. Okay. When x is 3, y is minus 9. So I will come here when x is 3 and y being minus 9. This is 10. I'll take 2 steps backward. 2 tiny block step backward. That will be my, this bridge allow me. When x is 3, y is minus 9. So this is 10. This is 10. So this is minus 9. Okay. So I think you can see that. When x is 4, y is 0. You can see 4. You can see x being 4 here. And y being 0 is at that spot. Okay. Then when x is 5, y is 13. So when x is 5 here, y is 13. I'm going up now. This is 5. This is 10. 11, 12, 13. I'll mark that point. Good. I think I'm done. Quickly, I will join. I'll first of all use a very strong curved object to connect this bend that is sharp, to be sharp. Okay. This side. Okay. Then here as well. Okay. All right. I think that's okay. I'm sure you're seeing what I'm connecting there. Oh, the thing has a little one here, but something needs to be. Yeah, make it. Mhm. Okay, okay, okay. All right. This side. One have to be careful what you are going. Let me use this one now. Much flexible. Oh, here. Especially at this point where the curve passes through the air surface. You just have to be very careful because any slightest mistake, your reading will go off value. So it will become out of what is expected. Mm-hmm. Quite easy. Okay. Okay. Then as well here, even though this one is just at 4, the reading will not be a problem, but whatever be the case, the nature of the curve has to be well projected. Okay. So this upper part, let me use my ruler to join them since the nature of the question doesn't require any connection up there. So at the end there will be well. So I think you can see what I did. Look at it very well. Look at it. Look at it. Okay. Okay. The points are well located and joined. So um let me give it a maybe 99% level of accuracy. Okay. So the next thing we are doing here as quickly as possible is to answer the sub questions that is attached to this graph. We have been able to do everything up there. Okay, the next is use your graph to find y when x is 1.8. So where is x being 1.8 in this graph? Where is x being 1.8? That value is positive, not negative. So this is x being 1. So I'll check where x is 1.8 here. From 1, 1.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. Mark it. Mark it. Then when you mark it, you use your ruler. And you are not going up because this is a U-shaped curve. If it is an N-shaped curve, you have to go up to connect it to the curve and then trace the corresponding value of y which they required. But since it is a U-shaped curve, you have to come down so that we can now find where this x being 1.8 touches the curve. At that point where it intersects with the curve, you can see it here. You can see it here. You now drag it to the connect the value to the that's here. Connect the value to the y-axis to determine the value that is there. That's how you join it. Okay, the value that is there. That's a little bit in the middle of this one. Let me bring it closer. You see what I'm doing there. Can you see what I did there? Look at it. So look at where I came down from. This is x being 1.8. Mark it dot until you get here. Can you see? You follow that line and then go to, you see in the middle of here. Okay, can you see that? This is their point of intersection. So whatever the reading here is, that's the value of y. So we can check it out. This is 10 minus 10, no, because this is on the, look at our origin up there. So this is minus 10, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. Oh my god, not point, not point. What am I reading? From here to here is 5, meaning every two tiny block is 1. I have explained that before. Okay, so it then means that since here is 10 minus 10, the next two tiny block will be 11, the next will be minus 12, the next will be minus 13, and the next will be minus 14, minus 14, and one block here shared into 2. Let me do the arithmetic and see what it gives me. Minus 14 minus 14. So I have that, two tiny block is 1, then half two tiny block in my reading here. Two tiny block is 1, then one tiny block will be 0.5, and 0.5 divided into 2 again, 0.5 over 2. I think that will give us 0.25. So I will point 0 and then point, let me check here, 0.5, 0.5 divided into 2 equals to, yeah, 0.25. So this is minus 14.25. So that's the corresponding value of y there. So in answering the question quickly, we will say that's question what? CI. CI. Say when x is equals to 1.8, comma, y is equals to minus 14.25. So minus 14.25. That's the value there. And we have CII. CII. They asked us to find the value of x when y is minus 8. So quickly, let me get when y is minus 8. This is y being minus 5. Next two block minus 6, minus 7, minus 8. Look at that point. Look at that point. Let me mark it something. And then join them. Join it to touch the curve. And at this time it's going to touch the curve on two locations. On two locations. So those two locations, I'll follow those two locations to the x-axis and determine the values of x at those points. So this is how to answer a question like this. Okay, so you can see that this is x being minus 8, and then look at their point of intersection. You follow it and go here and find what the value of x is. And you know that here there are 10 tiny blocks, and I have explained already that this is minus 1. So it then means every tiny block here is 0.1. So let's find out what that place is saying. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. So minus 0.7 is here. So in answering the question, I would say when y is minus 8, x, the x values, because there are two, are the x values are minus 0. I hope we read that in minus 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. Yeah, minus 0.7, and x equals to the other side. This is 3. This is 3. 3.1.2, and x being 3.2. Okay, I'm trying to make sure we don't spend unnecessary time on this question, but I've said already that when you are pursuing, when you are uh, your quest is perfection, time is not going to be a trouble for you, because you will not just be looking at time, you also be looking at getting it appropriately, done. So this is how to answer a question. This is a typical question. I have said it already. This is a typical question, WAEC question of SSCE 2015 question 7. That's everything that you are required to do there. Okay, everything you are required to do there. Do we still have time? This is 9.